You are now listening to episode 1 of season 2 of the Entrepreneur Happy Hour podcast. Our guest today is Candace Michelle. She's the owner of CMG Music Studios LLC. As a child, music was always a part of her life. From singing in various choirs at church and at school, playing the saxophone in the band, even writing songs with other musicians in the church when she was an adolescent. Despite all of that, she never would have guessed or even imagined that she will become a music instructor. Not only is music something that she gets to do as a job, it's also her ministry. She's learning so much and growing as an entrepreneur, but she's got some really great tips to share with us. On to the episode. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Denise. This podcast is for entrepreneurs. Whether you're just getting started or working your business part-time or just looking for some inspiration, each episode you will hear the incredible stories of entrepreneurs from around the world. These entrepreneurs are subject matter experts in their niche. Want to show off your fan status? Make sure you're subscribed to the show so you can be one of the first to listen to my latest episode, which starts right now. So grab your favorite beverage and let's talk about business. Candace, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, blessed.
well,
Blessed,
it
cannot
is
complain.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you as a guest today. I'm so excited just to interview you and to share with the listeners what all you're working on. Before we jump in, I want to make sure that the listeners know that you and I connected on Instagram. Like, we've never met in person. We've just seen
Yep.
each other on video and followed each other. And when I say that, like, I feel like you are one of my sisters, like, we cheer each other on and all of these things. And so I'm just so excited and I feel blessed to know you. And I feel like the listeners will be able to not only connect with you, but find some things that resonate with them about the work that you're doing. So if you don't mind, just share with us briefly the name of your business and what it is that you do. And then I want to share something special that you just launched recently. So let's get into your business first, and then we'll get into the other.
All right. So I am a private voice coach and entrepreneur. So about in 2014, I would say I graduated with my second bachelor's degree, and I went back to school for music just because I had a passion and a love for music and just wanting to become a better musician myself. Once I graduated, I had started teaching privately. I had been teaching, I taught at a few different places I shouldn't say last September because it's now 2021. But in September of 2019, I launched and opened up my own voice studio. And so I currently have a private voice studio. Once the pandemic hit, I turned everything over to virtual. So I currently teach private voice piano lessons along with music classes. I also started a line with some merch. So on my new website, I have some merch that you can purchase as well. And I'm just constantly growing, constantly trying to think of new ideas. But one of my passions, along with teaching people how to sing well, is also teaching great vocal health and great voice and vocal hygiene. So I'm really big on both of those as well.
That is awesome. I know one of the things that you do that is consistent, whether it's in your reels or in your stories, you are typically giving tips not just for people that sing, but anyone that uses their voice. Our voice is an instrument, so I appreciate the way you talk about warming our vocal cords, and you talk about one of your favorite things is drinking tea, and so just setting that up. Who doesn't love tea, right? But guys, let me tell you all about this amazing woman. She recently launched a podcast that she is the host of, and where she is just, it's amazing. She looks to teach, empower, and applaud. It is called Got Tea, because she's got some tea to spill. So
Yes.
I'm excited about those episodes and all of that. Tell us more about, the tips that you share with us about, our voice and, taking good care of it. And again, guys, this is not just for singers. If you use your voice for public speaking or anything like that, you would benefit from the tips that Candace has.
Yeah, so I use myself as an example. I think as because I am a singer and I do sing, I just learned that there were so many bad habits that I had, but I also had held jobs in the past, and I still do because I'm a teacher where I talk, I speak a lot. And I noticed once I started developing my good singing habits and learning different techniques and skills for my voice for singing, I started applying a lot of those things also to just to my daily life, how I use my voice throughout the day. And I learned that it actually just helps anybody. So some of the tips may include I actually have an episode coming out this Saturday. The episodes will air, the new episodes will air every Saturday. So while you're cleaning on Saturday or doing your morning errands or whatever the case is, you can hop on for about 30 minutes or so and just get some tips. This coming Saturday will be how to keep your voice healthy during the winter and cold months. So just sharing some tips that I have used, that I have shared with students, that I even learned from other colleagues and students that help any voice user really. Some of my things are tailored to singers, but when it comes down to it, mostly everything that I share is for anybody that uses their voice: coaches, teachers, orators, vloggers, podcasters, whatever. If you talk, if you're a professional voice user, the tips work for you. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I definitely want to get into asking you just a few questions about your journey as an entrepreneur. Um, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? Like based on how you started, if you had it to do all over again, what would you do differently with your business?
If I had to do it all over again, I would have saved more money. I would have saved more money. I went to school for music. I literally, it was a faith walk for me. I definitely do not trade it at all for anything. The school part, I don't. After I graduated, I did work a couple of jobs because in my mind, I'm like, I'm tired of being broke because I quit my full time job to go back to school for music. And I was I had a salary position. And so I had salary position bills. And so um that part I don't regret any of it. But what I would have done differently after I decided to go back to work, I knew in my mind I wanted to start a business. I was afraid to start my business. And so, being afraid, I got into jobs that really weren't for me, that weren't designed for me after I graduated from school. They didn't work. God didn't allow them to. Um, I wish I would have committed to just this is what you're going to do. How about you save this amount of money up and start gradually? I didn't do that. I stopped everything. I did like what I did when I went to school, and I just started working. The Lord made a way. The Lord made a way because I was working full time. Once I decided to do it, I was working a full time teaching schedule. However, I wish I would have worked my finances a little bit better at that time.
And I think that's good. I think many entrepreneurs can relate to that. The way that I started, I quit my job and just kind of, went in. But I think that's one of those things for some of us, because we learn from that experience, we're better able to help other entrepreneurs. And then we're better able and prepared if the time comes to launch other business endeavors as well. So I
Mhm.
think that's really important. Now, I wouldn't advise you to quit your job without a savings or anything like that. But some of
No.
us have that burning, that itching. We're tired of building up other people's dreams, and we
Yep.
just know that we've been called to do our own thing, and
Yes.
that burning desire to have a business and to just go. Like once you get that glimpse of that vision of seeing yourself helping people and being successful, it's hard to shake that
Yes.
entrepreneurial spirit
I
off of
agree.
you.
I completely agree with you.
So let me ask you something else. If you had to narrow down to your three most important tips that you give to your clients or your customer base, like if you had to just like had three, like
Wow,
what
that's good.
would those three tips be?
I think one of my main first one of them would be to embrace your uniqueness. Embrace what's special about you. Don't try to copy or mimic anybody. Learn from individuals, but embrace your uniqueness. Um, I think another tip would be to be open to change. Be open to change because a lot of things bad habits that we have vocally, um, they are hard to change. They're hard I'll give you an example, the clearing of the throat. Whenever I throw that out there at people, they're like, what? I can't clear my throat? Oh, you can, but it's not good. So I think that being open to changing some of those bad habits. And the third thing I would say is to be ready to put in the work. Be
Mm,
ready to put in the work because faith without works is dead. So you won't see results if you're not ready to put in the work.
that's good. I think that's really good, and I think that's really important. So recap: embrace your uniqueness. What was
Yes.
number two?
Be open for change.
Be open for change, and the third one, be ready, willing to do the work.
Exactly. Yep.
That's awesome. I think that can speak to so many areas of our lives.
Yes. Yes.
Where yes, oh, that's awesome. Well, I also wanted to ask you, without you giving away anything too soon or anything that you're not ready to release just yet, what can we look forward to seeing from Candace Michelle in 2021?
I think you can look forward to just learning more information, being more, I think my focus as far as making sure that the individuals that even come to my Instagram page, come into my podcast, listen to my tips, understand that as a singer, as a vocalist, as a musician, I want to help. I'm a voice coach. I teach people how to sing, but I want people to open up their minds and understand that I am not just for singers. I am for you. If you use your voice, that's who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. So I'm for everybody. I'm everybody's cup of tea.
Everybody's
So
cup of tea.
I'm
I love it.
everybody's cup of tea. So if I'm speaking, it's for you.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I know I am so, I feel so blessed to be able to get to know you and to follow your journey and to know more about your story and what makes you uniquely you. And I just look forward to things to come. But I want to make sure the listeners know how they can find you. I'll definitely put it in the description. They'll be able to see it there, but I want to make sure that they're able to hear it as well if they're driving right now or doing something and their hands are tied up. So how can we get connected to you and follow along with everything that you're working on?
I am on Instagram, so please connect with me there at I am Candace Michelle, and that's at I like to say that I am. And I also have a website, which is www.iamcandacemichelle.com. You can also find me there. There's information regarding my voice coaching. There's a way you can sign up for a voice evaluation or consultation with a small fee. And then you can also just kind of browse the site and just learn a little bit more about me. I'm also on Facebook as well. If you go to my Instagram page, there's a link in the bio. If you click that link, you can find my YouTube page, my Facebook page, and my website, all in one place. So that's where you can find me.
Wonderful. Well, look, thank you so much. And that's it for this episode of the Entrepreneur Happy Hour podcast. If you haven't already rated and reviewed my show, leave your feedback. Do that today. Whether you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify, your review shows off your fan status and helps other future listeners find this podcast. I love hearing from my listeners, and I would love to hear from you. Send me a note at hello@theentrepreneurhappyhour.com. Until next episode, I'll see you over on the Entrepreneur Happy Hour Facebook community.